Being human at work, organisational culture. In order to think about what makes a human workplace, it makes sense to reflect on the past and all the things that have come together to create the current experiences we have at work. Much of the expectations, values, and elements that create our experience of work and workplace culture comes from the Industrial Revolution. In the past, people were a commodity. What was unique and great about each person wasn't looked for, and success came from efficiency and fast repetition.
Non-human brain-friendly organisations were based on mechanistic command and control thinking. These organisations will never become what they are capable of becoming if they are unable to fully engage their team's hearts and minds.
Some of us shared our first experiences of work when organisations sought conformity, not only in what was acceptable attire, but also in behaviour. We were expected to leave our personal self at the door. Work was about following rules and processes. Thinking was seen as a defiance and was unwanted unless specifically invited by the management.
It's never been possible to leave your humanness at the door. We've just worked out ways to disguise this, and in some organisations, leaders have learned to ignore it.
Not only has the nature of the work we do changed, the breadth and range of the people at work and their experiences of work has also changed. The workplace is now a complex place. Success comes from getting all of these different humans to collaborate, problem solve, and co-create. Richness comes with what's achieved together rather than by singular individual effort.
Every organisation has a responsibility to provide and uphold an environment that is psychologically safe for their teams and to develop emotionally intelligent leaders.
Groups told us they looked at company values and Glassdoor reviews to find the culture that would be the best fit for them. The assumption was that if you could find a company culture where it's a good fit, you're more likely to feel you belong and can be yourself. You will know what kind of a place it is and what types of behaviours are expected and valued. This also got people thinking about the organisations that had felt toxic. Should they be honest and describe themselves as cutthroat? And we wondered if anyone would actively choose to work somewhere that didn't value its people.
A safe environment, trust and offering care to your team all promote the right environment to be yourself. A human organisation is very open, transparent and creative.
We all agreed that in order to find our fit, we need to know who we are. And to do that, self-awareness and self-acceptance become a key skill.
Emotionally intelligent leaders are self-aware and support their teams to develop this through open dialogue, developing self-awareness in others and coaching.
We felt companies are more aware of the importance of their culture and the impact that this has on their people. But our group said that quite often what's presented at the front desk isn't what's experienced once you get past reception and touch the back wall.
This would have a negative impact on the whole workforce. If you're unable to be congruent, there would be little trust, teams would feel fearful and would often find themselves feeling anxious and stressed, unable to do their best thinking.
There was an expectation that a truly human workplace would have a culture where you can bring your whole authentic self to work. But the idea of being yourself at work raised a number of questions and problems. How does being authentically yourself fit with a company values, competencies, roles, and structures? Are humans too complex and multifaceted to fit within any single set of rules?
Humans don't like to feel that they don't have any control of their thinking and actions. When we feel safe, we're able to turn up as our real self and feel valued for our contributions.
And what if you don't like your whole self? What if the part of you that you try to leave out of work are your imposter feelings, your anxieties, and your insecurities? What if your whole self is a bit grumpy and disagreeable? Humans aren't nice all of the time, are we?
With the support of an empathic, emotionally intelligent leader and supportive team, these are areas that can be explored, made sense of and supported. We will come to recognise our superpowers too. It's okay to be grumpy. As humans, we bring all our emotions to every part of our lives. It's okay to have different feelings.
So bringing our whole self means we'll be bringing all of us, not just our best bits. And this shift would fundamentally change what we expect from our organisations, our leaders, and our peers. That old separation between work and home, professional and personal disappears in an environment that invites the whole person.
The SCARF model, developed by David Rock, explains how neuroscience can help us to understand the brain and help us to use this knowledge to motivate and lead more effectively in the workplace.
There's a lot of life that happens between our 20s and our 60s. Is that old idea of leaving our whole self at the door fair or even right? Does it have any place at all in the modern workplace?
Our brains are continuously making toward and away decisions from threat and towards survival. Keeping the arousal away from threat is helpful as it reduces anxiety and fear, which improves our creativity and clarity of thinking.
We asked the group what needs to be done to create a work environment and culture where people are safe to bring their whole self. We felt there needs to be a high level of psychological safety and trust, where people can say, I don't understand, where making mistakes is okay, and where people can learn from those mistakes.
When we are fearful, stressed, and anxious, our amygdala becomes activated and our fight, flight, freeze, and flop behavior kicks in. We become tunnel visioned on the danger to hand, and our brain reduces its resources to our prefrontal cortex.
We thought in a human workplace, the values and culture would be team-led rather than organisation-led, as this would better embrace the needs of smaller groups that needed to do the work together. This level of clarity at local team level would make it easier for people to integrate and bring their best thinking.
Access to our prefrontal cortex enables us to process better, recall data, take on new information, pull together all our best thinking and be far more creative. A human workplace would positively support our well-being, the ability to do our job and our mental health.
It could more easily embrace and encourage the diversity and needs within the group and could lead to a patchwork of multiple cultures within one company as workplaces fully embrace and express the people that make up their organisation. The strength of a company is, after all, in its people.
Human-led cultures can be found in small pockets and would possibly look and feel different in every part of an organisation, as every leader and team are different. The common denominator, emotional intelligence.
Participants reflected back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and suggested a human culture would be built around creating belongingness and meeting the needs of its people, without which people can't become the person they're capable of becoming.
We strive for belongingness. It makes us feel safe, it moves us away from social threat towards reward, which is better for our brains. When we see someone as part of our in-group, we use the same brain networks as we do when we're thinking about ourselves.
We shared the organisations that get the culture piece right are rewarded not only with high retention rates, because people stay where they feel they belong, they also have people who feel safe enough to do their best thinking and work. And organisations would have people who are highly skilled and experienced and would cost considerably more than their current salary to replace.
Human organisations help us to calm our brains, our amygdala more of the time, which gives us access to the part of the brain that supports higher level thinking. It's great for both the organisation and the teams.